Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Writers Chat. This is the place we like to gather where we talk about all things writers, by writers, and for writers. So we're glad you're with us today, either live. We got some of our good regulars in the chat room, or if you're watching by replay. And we know several of you are going to watch the replay because you're all getting ready for conference season. We got a lot of conferences coming up. And we know several of you said on the members page that they're busy getting ready. So have fun at those conferences. You know, we've always big promoted of conferences here on the Writers Chat. My name is Jean Wise. I'm a nonfiction writer, one of your co-hosts, and I'm joined here today by Johnny Alexander, award-winning fiction writer. And so we're the main crew today. Bethany is still getting ready for Blue Ridge too, so she's going to the conference, and so she'll be back with us in a few weeks. So, and we've got a special guest today, and we're going to party, talk about parties. So Johnny, I'm going to send it over to you to talk about partying today.
Yay. I know. I feel like I should have had balloons or something in the background, right? That would have been fun. Our special guest is Tamara Lynn Craft. I don't think we've ever really met in person, but somehow we connected, probably through American Christian Fiction Writers. And when Tamara put out a call out for a Facebook party, I kind of trembled in my shoes because it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do that. But she was so helpful, and now she does these themed Facebook parties very frequently. So we thought she'd be a great guest to come on and talk about how you too can do a Facebook party. So let me tell you a little bit about Tamara. She loves adventures. She loves to write historical fiction set in the United States because of so many great stories right here. There are strong elements of faith and romance and suspense and adventure in her stories. She has received finalists and placing in several different contests. Her newest novel is called Red Sky Over America, and it's book 1 in the Ladies of Oberlin series. And I'm assuming, is it Oberlin, Ohio?
Yes.
Yes. Ooh. I'm a native Buckeye, don't live there now, haven't for many, many years, but Jeannie is a Buckeye and still lives there, and Tamara too, so that's really cool. Let me see, Alice's Notion is one of her stories, a historical romantic suspense set shortly after World War II. Novellas published, oh goodness, I just lost my place. She's been married 39 years to the love of her life.
Congratulations.
Rick. Has two adult children, 3 grandchildren, and I love all this. Tamara has been a children's pastor for over 20 years, and she leads a ministry called Revival Fire for Kids, where she mentors other children's worship leaders and ministry leaders and teaches. She teaches workshops and is a children's ministry consultant, a children's evangelist, has written children's church curriculum. And in 2007, she received the National Children's Leaders Association Shepherd's Cup for Lifetime Achievement in Children's Ministry. So, wow. And now she does Facebook parties.
I think you must be a child at heart.
Yeah, people frequently, when they hear I'm an author, they say, oh, do you write children's books? And I'm like, no, there's Christ.
Well, we're going to talk about Facebook parties. So I don't know if the one that I prefer, because I've participated, I think, in 3 now. I don't know whether the first one I did was the first one you did, but I know that since then you have got this down to a science, and you know, she sends out the email, she does all this stuff. Just tell us a little bit about, let's start at the basic. What is a Facebook party? How you got involved in it, and then we'll kind of go from there. And please, people, ask questions in the chat and we'll make sure we get them answered.
Well, Facebook party is on an event page. You create an event and then you have the Facebook party on the page. And basically you invite everybody who wants to know anything about the Christian books or about your book in particular, and you kind of have a party online. You post things, you ask questions, you give prizes out, and just do a lot of fun things to engage the readers. So that's in a nutshell what Facebook parties are. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's the basic of it.
I know there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot. I want to hear the details and stuff. I've not really looked at the event page of Facebook. I've been on the other pages. I've not done much with events. Is there anything special we need to know about that to start the arrangements of that?
Well, the best way to do the event page, first of all, you want to make a banner for the event page that will catch people's eyes. If you're doing it as a single author, that banner will have your featured books and maybe a picture of yourself and things like that. If you're doing it with multiple authors, you'll want a picture of all the books that are going to be featured. And you want to do the Facebook page. If you have an author page, it's better to do it through the author page, because you can do the advertising and draw people to your author page rather than your personal page. So that's the best way to do it. But if you do a Facebook event on the personal page, the first time I did a Facebook party, I made this mistake. Make sure you do a public event. Because if you do a private event, only the people you invite can see it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So that's a good little tip then. Yeah, you have to make it a public one. So just to kind of explain then how it works is like you have so many authors that come together, you've invited, or who have responded to invitations. And in the way Tamara has her set up is in half-hour slots. So each author then has a half hour to do whatever they want to do to engage with readers during that half hour. So what are some great ways to do that? And can you check your microphone again, because you sort of faded back out again. You kind of were in and out.
no problem. I'm checking it now.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I know. For those of you that came in a little bit later, we had her turn it up earlier, and we're still working with the technology.
Still
you know how that
playing.
is. Try it again. Here she's gonna.
Okay, how's that?
Oh, much better. Much better.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Now that you can hear me, a lot of at first I did Facebook parties for my own books, and they seem to work so well that I just decided to open it up to other authors. And I found that when a bunch of authors get together and give big prizes, it attracts a lot more people. And then with the posts, I've done a lot of experimenting to see what kind of posts work. And the more fun you make it, the more you attract people. And you don't want to just give your book blurb and your website and your newsletter and all of that stuff. You want to engage with the readers. So asking questions that are open-ended questions. Like, for instance, I had Alice's Notions in my Facebook party, and it said at the end of World War II. So when I had that party, I posted a picture of my father-in-law in his Army uniform, because he was in World War II. And I said, what members of your family were in World War II? Well, that got people talking about themselves instead of just reading about your book. Questions that get people talking about themselves are wonderful ways to engage the reader. It makes the party a lot more fun.
It really does. And I kind of did the same thing. I've done my World War II novel, Where Treasure Hides, and it's, of course, it's about looted art. And so I in one of the Facebook parties, I put up a picture of the Mona Lisa and said, this is one of the ones that was hidden away, but what art would you like to find in your attic? And it got people really talking about that kind of thing. Or, you can ask, like, what is your favorite masterpiece? And it was really fun. And people will sometimes even pull images off, excuse me, to put in the comments.
That is really cool. We got asked in the chat room, have you done this with nonfiction books too?
No, I haven't, but I write children's curriculum, and I'm about to launch a Toasters curriculum in 2019, beginning 2019, and I'm going to have to try one of those parties for that and see if it works.
I bet. And you'd probably attract children ministers or people that do children's messages all the time to something like that and stuff. So do you have a goal in mind when you do this? Is it to sell more books or to get more readers? What's your goal?
Well, my goal is to get people familiar with my books and with the other authors' books, and also to get them to sign up for my newsletter, my website, my Facebook page, because when they sign up for those things, when I launch a new book, they'll hear about it. And so it's not so much that the sales go way up during the party, but the number of people on my newsletter and the number of people on my Facebook page and the number of people who follow my blog goes way up every time I have a party. And the more authors that are involved, the better, because what happens is I not only get my fans who always come to my Facebook parties, but I get their fans too. So we share. That's one of the best things about these parties is everybody contributes and everybody benefits from each other's fan base. So it kind of expands from there.
Yeah. About how many other authors have you had? Like how large is the party?
The party is usually I do between 6 and 10 authors. If I do more than 10, the party seems to last too long. I get tired out.
So you stay on the whole time as host, it sounds like.
She does.
I don't comment. I don't get on the Facebook, but behind the scenes, I have a message board going. If anybody asks me any questions, one of the authors has a problem with Facebook, I'm there to give advice, and also on the Facebook page, if they forget to pin their posts or anything like that, I will be able to help them out there. So yeah, I do stay on the whole time. I found that I really need to, because different issues sometimes arise during the party, and the authors need help.
We do, and it's nice because she does that. I could have her on my phone with the messages open, looking to see what was going on there, and just knowing that you've got someone to kind of be your support. And now, just putting a little, boost out there, Tamara does charge a small fee to participate in her party, but out of that, she buys the major prize, and then the authors can choose what they want to do. And it's worth it. It's just so worth it, because she's taking care of everything and telling you what to do and when to do it and all that sort of thing. So tell us a little bit about prizes, what you do and what you found has worked really well.
I charge $25 an author, which isn't a lot of money, so most authors can afford that. And what that $25 will do is I will, first of all, offer a $50 Amazon card for the party. And that works out nice, because in order to get the Amazon card, people have to share the event on their timeline, so it gets free advertising that way. And then they need to comment on two authors' parties, which makes it so we know they're going to come to the party and engage with more than just their favorite author. And that works out great. I also do some Facebook advertising with that money. And so, with the small fee, that way it helps everybody who gets there. They have my resources and they have my help throughout the party. And combined resources, we can advertise more and we can give away better prizes.
Wow. Have you found certain times work better, or certain days of the week to do these Facebook parties?
Yeah, weekends are horrible. But there seems to be a consensus that Monday night seems to be the best night, or Thursday.
Wow.
And I think that's because nobody's doing anything on Mondays or Thursdays. But, have found that that's the best. Friday night isn't good because everybody has plans. Wednesday night is usually church night.
Yeah.
Monday and Thursday, the authors and readers are ready to party.
And
Someone's asking about the number. Oh, sorry, Jeannie. Go ahead.
I was just going to say evening seems to work more than days.
Well, I've tried it both ways. Days get some people in, people who are at home all day, they enjoy it. It's mostly authors, though, that like the parties during the day because they're not working. But if you want to get more readers, I think evenings are best.
Okay. We have a couple questions in the chat. I think that's what Johnny was going to look at. It says, have you used videos during the party?
Well, Naomi Munch, I don't know if you know her, but she's an author who's been at a number of our parties, and she loves to go on video, and it's really enjoyable. I've never done it. I'm a little bit chicken to do it, but she really gets a great response from the videos. So
does she do Facebook Live or is she posting a video? Do you know?
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live.
That's quite tricky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking of trying to look at the comments as you go. You're doing your thing and also trying. Or does she just wait till she's done and then go to the comments?
If she sees a comment, she'll comment on it on the video. But most of the time, she waits till she's done and then comments on the comments. But what I do is for my parties, I give the author the half hour. And I give them a page of sample posts they could make, kind of give them an outline of a format that works. But their half hour is their half hour, however they want to do it. And she suggested the live video. And so she's been doing that every time she has a party or every time she's on one of my parties. And it really works well. Yeah. I just haven't done it yet because, like I said, I'm too chicken to do it.
Yeah, well, it gets complicated, especially if you're already running behind the scenes stuff to have to worry about something else too on top of it. What are your numbers like? How many people attend these parties?
Usually, I have around 300 people. Now, the more, yeah, I know it's really good.
Wow.
Yes. The more authors I have, of course, usually the more authors I have, the more people I have. If I only have like 5 or 6 authors, it might be around 200 or a little more. But if I get 10 authors or 11 authors, I'm having a party on Monday where I'm going to have 11 authors, and I expect the numbers to get up to 400.
Wow. And that's a long time for you. If each author has a half hour, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It is a long time. For that party, because it's so long, I asked an author who's familiar with Facebook parties to help me. And what she's going to do is she's going to take the first half of the party and moderate, and I'm going to let her be on the party for free.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a smart idea. I think it's pretty smart on that. Wow, that is amazing. What would be your tips if we would want to do a Facebook party on our own? Is there a couple tips that you've learned?
Well, a couple tips that I've learned is you always want to give away prizes. And you want to advertise those prizes when you're advertising the party. Also, I found that if you have one of the prizes at least, so you share, they have to share the party on their timeline in order to get that entered in that drawing. That really helps with free advertising because everybody has their own, base of people to reach. So I feel like that's really done well. And then, of course, Facebook advertising works well. But really just advertise leading up to the party. You know, like the day of the party, before the party starts. Because I write historicals. I'll show a historical outfit from that era. And I'll say, this is what I'm wearing to the party. What are you wearing to the party? Or something like that, or ask them what they're bringing to the potluck for the party, and different things things to get people excited and engaging even before the party starts.
Well, I just think it's a great idea, and it's worth $25 just to have you do all the work.
Definitely. That's absolutely the truth. It truly is. And Tamara's really good too about highlighting each book leading in the days leading up to the party. She's putting out on Facebook, here's one of our authors that's going to be there and what they write, and so on. And then, like she was saying, just the excitement of what are you wearing, what are you bringing to eat, what are you going to have, and all that. And I've noticed, again, I've only done this 3 times over probably a 1 or 2 year period, but the same people are coming back. I mean, I'm seeing names and getting, the same people know about her parties now, and they're coming back to be part of that whole experience. And
Wow.
like she said, my numbers jump, my Facebook likes and all that kind of thing with every time I do one of these. I've gotten then invitations to be on people's blogs after being on a party, and I know it came from that. So just another way to get to be discovered. I mean, that's what we're looking at here, is discoverability.
Yeah. That is great. That is great.
Everybody who comes to the party to join the themed Facebook group. And on the themed Facebook group, that's where I advertise the books and the authors. And leading up to the party, I always advertise that we're having a new party. And so we have gotten a fan base that wants to attend all the parties.
Yeah.
They learn about each party on that Facebook group.
Well, can you go ahead?
Well, I was just going to say too, we'll get we'll get the Facebook page or in the writers chat group. It's themed Facebook parties if you search for it. But is that all it is on the URL also? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe so. But after this, I can post the links so you have it.
Yeah, we'll get the links to everybody there. Oh, somebody found it. Yay.
No, I just typed it. Is it
themed
Facebook
party?
Okay,
yeah.
It's themed with an ED on it. Facebook parties. If we just put that in the search bar of Facebook, we ought to be able to find the group.
Should be able to find it, or probably Tamara's name too would probably get you there.
Well, what if as a writer, is that where we would go if we'd want to? Do you put the call outs there that you're putting a new fiction one together? Or you're going to put your nonfiction one together? Is that where you put your call outs?
Well, no, I do that on my website.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to go on my website, TamaraLynnCraft.net, they can go on the Facebook party page, and it will have a link to sign up for the party.
Great. That's great. And do you list there maybe upcoming parties or anything like that?
Yes, I do. Right now, I don't have any upcoming parties past Monday, but because we're in the middle of moving. We're packing boxes and our house is done, so we're trying to get everything ready. But in probably about 2 or 3 weeks, I will have another list of parties up there for the summer. So even though they're not there now, if you would like to participate, just check the website from time to time, and it has all the instructions you need for how to be on one of those parties, and it will also have a list of parties and links where you can sign up for those parties.
Great. Now I'm confused a little bit on the contests. You mentioned the Amazon card, and that's for the authors. Are they part of that contest to help them encourage the PR? But each author also brings prizes. What's?
All right.
Yeah.
For the overall Facebook party, in order to get one of the 2 grand prizes, one of the prizes is a featured novel from each author. So whoever wins that will win 5, 10, however many authors we have, novels, either in ebook or print, author's choice. So that's one of the grand prizes, and then the $50 Amazon card is the other grand prize.
Okay.
And what happens is in order to be in the drawing for the Amazon card or the however many books, you have to first share it on your timeline. Second, you have to click you are going. And then third, you have to comment on 2 authors' posts during the party.
Okay, that's open to everybody then, it sounds like. Okay, got it.
And then you will get eligible for the drawing for the grand prize that I give. Now, during the half-hour spot for each author, they have the option to go ahead and give out any prizes they want. Now, some authors, they will go hog wild. They will give out 6 prizes during their half hour. Other authors, they may only give 1 prize, but that's totally up to them what they want to do. So all prizes are announced at the end of the party, because if the author, after she does her half-hour slot, announces the winner of her half-hour slot, then everybody's looking at that instead of the next author's post. And to be fair to every author, we announce all the prizes at the end of the party.
And Tamara makes sure that one person doesn't win more than one. So it's like the authors send her their names so that as she gets them, she knows that two different authors will not pick the same person to win a prize. So the prizes do get distributed. I was going to say too, the themes, going back to that, Tamara does really cool themes. Like she's done the World War II or historical, but I've done that twice with Where Treasure Hides. And then most recently, we did Down on the Farm, and I was able to do my Misty Willow series. So that was really a cool theme. And we didn't have as many authors as we do with historicals. There were 5, I think, of us, instead of usually there's more than that. But it still was a lot of fun, and it was very well attended. We had a lot of comments.
I do try to do different themes every party.
Yeah, love it.
But I try to make them different than most authors. Most authors, they'll do a genre theme. You know, it'll be romance, it'll be historical, it'll be speculative, or it'll be suspense. I do occasionally do those kinds of themes, but I try to think of something different. Like the Down on the Farm was a rural theme.
That was fun.
I had early 20th century that was from 1900 to 1940, and so I pigeonholed the historical theme, so it was in one time period. And then I might have a Civil War fiction, everything around the Civil War era, and that makes it more fun because like the outfits and the different historical tidbits and everything's toward that historical period. But you know, like Christmas time, I'll have a Christmas party, but it ended up having 3 parties because there were so many Christmas novels in November.
Wow.
During Valentine's Day, I
great.
2 parties for the romance theme.
Wow, that's crazy. What kind of creative prizes have you seen authors use?
Oh, all kinds of things. They've given away journals and cups and T-shirts and teapots and jewelry and
wow.
just all kinds of different things. Normally, authors will give away a copy of their book, but the sky's the limit as far as different prizes. When I was advertising Red Sky Over America, it was right before the Civil War, so I gave away a decorative fan like the women would have used during that time.
That's a nice gift.
Yes. I've given away coloring books with fashion for the time period I'm writing about, or just different things. For when I do or you know, just I know authors I've had on there do the same thing, but I always try to give away prizes that in some way fit my book.
Okay, Johnny, what have you used?
I think one time I gave away a little teaspoon that had something like drink tea, read books on it, and it was a popular gift. And I do what Tamara suggests. I like say, I'm doing this Facebook party, and here's one of my presents. This last time down on the farm, I went a little bit hog wild because I had gotten all these things from Target when they were doing this country, how they have those $1 to $3 bins. And I had bought, months before, had bought little tea towels that said like down on the farm or farmer's market or something like that, and a tote bag. So I gave away, there's 3 books in the series, so I gave each book away separately with a towel.
Getting a lot of feedback. Getting feedback today. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Go ahead.
And so I gave each book away with a towel and another little like a memo pad or ink pen or something. And then I had a tote bag that said Farmer's Market on it, and I gave that away with all 3 books inside. The problem with doing that, though, is mailing. I spent a ton of money then mailing those things, because if you send anything with a book, you can't send it media mail. And so I probably will not be quite as generous in the future. but sometimes, you can, like, if you get something on Amazon, and of course if you have Prime, then you're buying the gift and the shipping's free, and you're just sending it straight to that person, so you don't have to worry about wrapping it up and all that kind of stuff.
That's a good trick to know, though. It's a good trick.
I always do the Prime because it's so much easier, and they do the shipping for me, and I don't have to pay any money.
Right.
We have several questions in the chat too. I want to get to.
I'm going to let you take care of them because I'm being so.
You got some sort of feedback. We're just having all sorts of sound problems today. It must be the internet imp, the one that likes the technology. So Tamara, we got a couple questions. Do you think that this type of party would work on other social media platforms? Have you tried any of that or seen any of that any other place?
I haven't tried it myself. I'm more familiar with Facebook and how Facebook works, so I would probably be a little gun shy about trying another one, because I'm like Twitter. I go on Twitter occasionally, but it's just, I don't know all the ins and outs of Twitter. But I would say that if somebody is very familiar with a certain type of social media, I can't see why it wouldn't work just as well.
Yeah, and this is related to the next question. Okay, your authors are both traditional and self-published? Are they both?
Yes, they are. As long as they fit the theme and they have a Christian worldview with no cussing, no on-screen sex scenes, things like that. And as long as their book is out by the time of the party, because I found that some people want to squeeze a book in that they're not going to have available for 6 months. And so the prize will be given for 6 months from then. I don't do that. But as long as they are Christian books and we fit the theme, I'll take them.
Well, this is kind of, then that leads into Rhonda's question, per se, there, about could we use this as some sort of marketing? Maybe it's me, Johnny, today. I don't know why. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Is it like an unpublished author that could we do parties to get feedback on needs or felt needs or out there? What would you think about that in your experience?
I'm not really sure what the question is. I'm sorry. Could you reword it?
Her question was, could you do a particular Facebook party on a topic that you'd want to receive feedback on that might end up being a book? You can give different kinds of prizes maybe with a theme. Like somebody mentioned the Wild West. Maybe we could do a theme of the Wild West and then seek comments back and offer a prize. I'm thinking of totally different from kind of what you are. I think that's what Rhonda is coming from.
Well, I don't see why you couldn't do that. That's not my focus. My focus is published books that are already out there. But I do think that maybe that would be a great idea for somebody who wants to take it on and see how it goes. You know, these parties are so much fun, and there's so much interest in them that I think that probably any variation like that might work if it's done well. And if the prices are good enough, because obviously you're not going to be giving out 5 novels or 10 novels or anything like that.
Right, I agree. I want to talk about this too from the author standpoint, because these parties, that half hour goes like this. And you have so many comments, and you know, you want to go back, you want to at least like the comments and try to respond to as many as possible. So my little tip is I try to sign up for the second slot. Now, something happened this last time, and I ended up being the first slot. I think the first person must have backed out. I don't know what happened. I thought I signed up for the second. I was in the first, but it still worked out okay. But what you need to do is prepare all your posts ahead of time. And I put those in a Word document, and so I know exactly what they're going to be. And the first time I did it, I was copying and pasting. Well, now on that events page, there's a scheduling option. And you can put in when you want on the event page where the party's going to be, you can put in when you want that post to appear. And I schedule them now. And that way I don't even have to worry about them. They're going to just pop up every 3 to 4 minutes is usually what I try to do. I think I may kind of overdo posts sometimes, but and then all I have to do is just keep going through the comments and responding to people and talking to people and doing that kind of thing. So that's another great tip, is to, even if you're not going to reschedule them, make sure you have them written out. You are not going to have time to do it as you're doing the party. There's no time. And then I have the whole rest of the party to still, just because people will still be commenting. They'll be commenting on my stuff as other authors now are being featured, and you have time to catch up and time to do that. And then I'm able to really go through and you know, choose winners and do all that before the party ends. I don't know how the people that are like last or next in that last half hour, next to the last half hour, I don't know how they manage to get it all done.
So really, as an author, Johnny, it takes longer than that half hour. It takes some prep time, but it's also afterwards times.
Yeah, but it's not bad. And I mean, and it's certainly, I mean, you know, it's not long, and it's certainly worth it. I feel like I have gained from every party I've participated in. And, you know, I've done Where Treasure Hides twice, and I pretty much used the same. I didn't give the same gifts away. And the first time I did, I had way too many posts. So the second time I did it, I cut that down a little bit, and, you know, so, and changed a couple things. But yeah, you just, you want to have it all prepared and ready to go, because you are not going to have time during that half hour. And Tamara too provides this sheet. So, you know, it's like, okay, if you're going to give things away, it's like, you know, you sort of space those out. So it's like, oh, now I'm going to give away this. And then I always sort of do a recap post towards the end of my half hour. It's like, okay, remember, if you wanted this to win this, you need to follow me on some social media or something like that. If you want to win this, make sure you answer this question. So then they can, you know, they sort of know what they have to do without having to go back and look at all my posts again. So it's fun. I mean, it's a intense half hour, and then kind of a more, you know, calm time to get things done, but it's certainly worth it. And I love seeing the same people showing up again. I mean, it's like, oh yay, and then you'll see them on blog tour posts and things like that, and it's like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm really getting people who are following me around the internet, which isn't that what we want, right?
Well, you use the word discoverability, and it is another method for discoverability, a fun method of discoverability. You know, so often all these tools that a lot of the marketing ideas that we share here on Writers Chat, sometimes it blows our mind, and we think, oh no, here's something else I have to do. Well, this is kind of joining together, and Tamara's made it fairly easy for us. You know, it really sounds like a great idea. Now, we did have one other comment, which I thought was neat. Let me scan up on this. Wait a minute. Rhonda is writing a book on losing weight, and she thought about doing a Facebook party sharing recipes or tips for weight loss. See, that's sort of.
Oops. Oh, you're muted.
That's a really great idea. If you have a nonfiction book and you make the party around the theme of the book, I think that would work really well.
And then Donna just added that she did a little party on her own with a few of her friends for her book, Megan's Choice. And she was still responding to comments even a couple hours after the party.
Oh, yes.
It is so busy during those parties. What Johnny said is true. I always warn my authors who sign up for the parties, you better have your posts ready. And if you know enough to schedule them, do it, because there are so many comments. I always take the last spot, Johnny. So I'm the one come up with the winners at the last minute. But that's easier because I'm already posting all the prizes, and I just post my prize before I post the grand prize winners. So that works out best for me. But it is a lot of fun, and that's the greatest thing about it. It's just so much fun, and
it is
so quickly, and you get to meet so many different people, and they get to know you kind of as personal as you can get on Facebook.
Wow.
And then start following you and looking at what your new novels are, and it just is a great way for discoverability, but it's a fun way, which is a lot different than most of those methods.
Yeah. Well, I really like that idea. I would have not thought about the idea of scheduling those posts ahead of time. Do they seem awkward? Like if you're in between 9 and 9:30, what do you do? Schedule them at 10 after 9 or?
You just sort of, go ahead.
Well, what you do is, like, you would schedule posts that, like, if you're between 9 and 9:30, you might schedule a post at 9 o'clock, and then schedule one at 9:05, and then at 9:10 have a contest post, and then at 9:15 schedule another post, and just keep on going for your half hour and schedule the whole half hour. And then your half hour, you can go ahead and do the comments and interact with the people and not be worried about, oh, I got to schedule another post or post something else.
Great. I will, one little caveat to that, though, is the party was in Eastern time and I was in Central time. And as I was scheduling, I had to schedule it in Eastern time, I guess, because that's what the event page was set up for. It didn't adjust for me being in Central time. And so I was like, okay, because on my calendar it was like 4:30 to 5, but I was having to make sure I did, 5:30. And in the first post, Tamara always, has introduced herself. So you introduce yourself, introduce the book. And I do like it 5:01, then 5:03. I do kind of these off things, but I do, like I said, sometimes I get carried away with my posts too, because I just do. And pictures, there's so many pictures. This was down on the farm. I had pictures of me in bibbed overalls and me with my boots, so yeah, farm girl here, right?
Johnny, can you tell us again, Jan asked again, where do you find that place to schedule a post?
It's on the events page for the party that Tamara has set up. So she has set up the events page, and you go to it. And I think the rule on those is you can schedule 10 hours, no earlier than 10 hours in advance. You can't do it way ahead of time. And 10 minutes, I believe, before you want your post to do, you have to be at least 10 minutes ahead of that. And then there's just a little, as soon as you start writing, it doesn't show up till you write the post, but then instead of hitting post, there's a little arrow and it will let you schedule it. And then the cool thing is you can view scheduled posts. So I could go and see, and it's like, oh my gosh, I've got these two too close together, and I could, separate them. And, or if, by this time you do sometimes forget, like, what did I do? So you can look at them and you can see when your posts are going to flow and when they're going to go out. And it just makes that feature just makes it so much easier to have all that done And then you can just enjoy, your posts are just going to go, and you can just enjoy reading the comments and interacting with people and not worrying about that. And then as soon as your turn's up, it's like, yay, I'm done.
Great tip. That is a great tip. I would have never thought about that one on that. Couple other questions, Tamara. So I wanted to know if you've done one of your theme parties on children's authors. And are you aware, does Facebook have any tutorials on parties or events to kind of learn how to best schedule events? Are you aware of any of that?
Well, first of all, I have not done any parties on children's books, but that may be something I do in the future. But as far as tutorials, Facebook likes you to use the event page to schedule events, to invite people. They like you to use it as like an invitation format. They don't think of it as something where you have the party on Facebook. So although you can do it that way and it works very well, that's not what they have the event page for. So I don't imagine they have any tutorials on that, but I'm sure on how to use the event page, they probably have something on that. But maybe that's something I should do, make a YouTube video on how to have a Facebook party.
I bet
that's a great idea.
You could make a course and sell it on SeriousWriter.com.
Well, that sounds good. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, where's Vicki? I bet you could, because you got to think, how many parties have you done? How many do you think you've done altogether?
Well, first of all, I just did parties with my book, and then I got a couple of authors together, and then I started thinking, well, if I charged authors, I could probably give better prices and do more advertising, things like that. So it was a experiment, like I said, but I've been doing them now, the themed parties, for about a year. So they've really done well. I've done all kinds of themes. May 21st party is called Heroic Women. So I'm doing Christian fiction with the main characters are heroic women. And it can cross any genre as long as the main character is a heroic woman. And so I've done all kinds of things. Like I said, I've done romance and Christmas fiction. That's more of a theme thing. But I've also, near the 4th of July, I've done patriotic fiction. So everything has to either focus around the 4th of July time period, or it has to have a patriotic theme. And that theme could be that it's from that time period, or it could be spies and the U.S. is being infiltrated, or something like that. So it can really be imaginative about how that theme fits. And so I just keep trying to come up with creative ideas on different themes to make them more interesting. I did a World War II theme, like I said, early 20th century, and just come up with different things, So it's a lot of fun.
It's fun to go through them. Yeah, it's fun to go through and see what you've got scheduled and say, okay, do any of my books fit that? Because I really think it's worth its money well spent. It really is.
Yes.
So your next one's next Monday then. What's the times?
It starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it ends at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a long party. That's why I got.
What's the theme for that one?
Heroic women.
Okay. Yep.
Heroic women. The last party I did was, they're blurring together. What was the last party I did? Oh, yes, speculative fiction. I did my first speculative.
Sorry.
So that was a lot of fun. And then before that, I did Down on the Farm. Yeah. One time.
I love that one.
Yes, and that was not necessarily on a farm, but rural settings.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've done Easter parties, and that's the Easter theme, and everything either had to be set around Easter or else biblical times.
That's good. That's good.
I plan on this summer sometime doing an Amish fiction party, because I haven't done that yet. So
That's good Yeah, my Amish book doesn't come out for another year, so I haven't even written it yet. But I've got the contract for it.
Well, I'm sure I'll do one of them again. It's a very popular genre. So one time I did suspense, but I did it a little bit different because I called it spies and mysteries, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but that's what it was. It was suspense and mystery. So, but I do all kinds.
I love that.
I just try to
One
come.
of the cool things I like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep talking over you.
That's all right. Go ahead.
The cool things about this is that, you never know what's going to become the thing. I mean, like Tamara did a few parties, just try to promote her book. She's doing that. And now look, now she is actually, obviously not getting rich at $25 an author when she's putting so much money into the prizes and the advertising and all. But still, it's like she's become the go-to person, right, for Facebook parties because she's doing them and she's making that niche for herself. And now she can do tutorials and she can teach classes. And it's like you never know what thing that you're going to fall into and enjoy doing and love doing, and then you're going to be that person. So that's also just sort of a cool side benefit, and how many authors and readers she brings together. Again, it's just incredible. The number of people that attend those Facebook parties, it's really cool. It's really cool. Jeannie's having workers that are drifting in and out of her house or something, so I apologize for all the sound things we have going on. I don't know what else is going on today with that. But if everybody wants to come back on, we've only got about 5 more minutes. So if everybody wants to come on, and we'll see about any questions you want to talk to Tamara in person, or any comments you want to make. If this is something you want to do, you want to throw out theme suggestions, so maybe she'll take that for you. Just raise your hand or go ahead and start talking.
I think it would be neat to do this with, I know there's a number of devotional writers here. That would be neat to do beyond fiction, but it's a great idea, Tamara.
I think that would be a great theme to do one time. That would be really cool. I think that would be successful.
You can head that up, Rachel. Tamara, if they wanted to do, if one of our community members wanted to do the intern party and pick something not fiction, emotional, or around a topic like weight loss, what would you say would be the minimum cost that they should try to involve in the party to make it a success?
Well, I know personally, I don't do a party with less than $5.
Okay.
I have sign-ups, and occasionally a party theme just doesn't work out. And then we have 2 or 3 authors that sign up for it, and I can't get it. But I think the best number, the sweet number, is between 5 and 10.
There you go, 5 and 10. And you also use what's the program you use for people to choose their slot?
Sign Up Genius.
Okay.
I will, originally I've been doing MailChimp. I've been telling them to get on MailChimp and sign up, and then I have the schedule on Sign Up Genius. I'm looking at right now maybe changing it so they just have to sign up on Sign Up Genius and not have to fool with it.
Yeah.
However,
That really helps too, because you can see the slots that were available in this one Zoom Nation.
Yeah. I just started doing that 2 months ago. So before that, I was trying to email everybody, what slot do you want? No, this one's already picked, and it got really busy.
Yeah. Johnny, I am back on, but I can't find my video for some reason. So
Oh, but we see you.
you can see me, I can't see myself, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to another room, so. on that. Well, I'm sorry about the sound today. We've had trouble with the sound, everybody. And I think what I'm going to do is quit the recording and we can just chit-chat. Tamara, thank you so much. Johnny?
Yeah. She's not going to want to. Here's her hand. Jill's going to be with us, and we're going to talk about Instagram. And there have been some changes and different kinds. They've added some things, some features. So she's going to do an Instagram. I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but
update or something like that.
Use it like a pro, she said. Use it like a pro on Instagram. So it'll be Jill and me. Bethany and Jeannie both will be gone next week. So join us for more on Instagram. And thank you again to Tamara for being with us, and everybody who watches this on the replay. We're so glad that you did. And those of you here in the chat, we're always so much.
And we'll have the replay up on the Facebook page sometime in the next couple of days. We promise to do that. And thank you for everybody. I'm going to quit the recording and we'll have our after party. See you next week.